Hello everyone. In this tutorial, we are gonna see how to take input while we are running the program. So till now, what we have seen is that whenever I am declaring a variable, let's say x, I am just hard coding its value. Now if I say that I won't hard code anything, I will just declare the variable, and now whenever I try running this, then whenever this particular console is getting displayed, I will be giving some values here. I will be giving some values here, and that will eventually get stored in this variable. How do we do that? We are gonna see this now. So just like we have seen that, if suppose I have some value for the variable x and I print it using cout, what happens when I run it? Inside the console, I am able to get its value, right? I am able to see whatever is printed in the console, using this using the cout statement. Similarly, similarly we have something called cin. Now cin does what? It helps you taking input for any variable that you declare through the console. If I write cin two forward arrows x, that means for the variable x, take input from the console. That is its meaning. So let's try doing it. Let me run the program. Okay, it has arrived. Now see, the console is waiting for you, right? The console is waiting for you. And if I give some value, let's say 2, process returns 0. That means your program has ended up, whatever was the execution, that has ended. And one thing we haven't done is, let's check whether we are at all transferring the value 2 from the console to the variable x or not. We will see that. So what I have done, I have utilized this cin for taking the input for x. Now I will just try printing the value, whether this value, whatever I have given through the console, is at all getting transferred to this variable or not. I will be able to check that if I utilize printing its value. So let me try running this. So see, the screen is waiting for you, the console is waiting. Give the value. Let me give value 3. That this particular 3 will be getting transferred to this x. And what I mean to say is that whenever I type this 3 and press enter, now this variable x will be storing the value 3. And whenever I try printing its value, 3 should be getting displayed inside my console. Let me try that. So I've typed 3 here. Now let me press enter. Now you are able to see that 3 is getting printed on the console. Let me do a little bit more for the clarity. What I will do is, I will print that. Let's print a string here, that the value of variable x is, and then we'll print the value of x. That's all. Now this will give you a more clear picture what is getting printed. Let me try running this. Let me give the value of x now to be 5, and now you are seeing that the value of variable x is 5. We are successfully printing this statement, and it is clearly showing that the value 5 that I have given in the console is definitely getting transferred to the variable x. Similar to the variable x, an integer that I have declared here, I want to take inputs for, let's say, a double variable y or double variable d, let's say, a character variable, let's say c. For these I want to take some inputs. Let me write cin statements as x. And it's not the case that you should have separate cin statements for them. I can have every input or multiple inputs for the same cin statements. I can have that. Let me try running this. So first, I have taken first input for x, let's say 3. X is an integer given 3. Now I have to take input for the double variable d, let's say let it be 2.3333, and for character c let me give it value a. Fine. Again, so we haven't printed anything. Let me write some print statements as well. So let me print first the value of x. Okay. Next, let me utilize endl for this, for printing our variables value. Let me have cout d. Okay, I have printed 3 things in 3 separate lines. Fine. Let me try running now. Okay, so the first input that we are to take is for variable x. Let me give it 3. Then let me give 2.333 for variable d, and for character c that we are to store a character here. Let me give it z. Okay, you are seeing that okay, all the things are successfully getting printed. 3, 2.333 and z. Everything is successfully getting printed inside the console. So through the console, I am taking the input and everything is getting printed in the console only. We have seen that. Now observe one thing. Okay, observe one thing. What we have done here is these 3. Okay, first input statement is for x. So I have given first input in the console for an integer only, right? If I say that okay, this character I will give first and I will give this 3 at the last, this won't work. The order, in whatever order we have given this scene statements, okay, first scene works for variable x, then it works for variable d, then it works for variable c. In the same order you have to mention it in the console. Okay, in the same order you have to give input in the console. Don't forget this point. Now similarly, you can take input for a string as well. If I just give string s, okay, and cin s will take input for a string from the console. Let me try printing this and let me try running this. Okay, let me give the string as abcd, and we can see that abcd is successfully getting printed. Okay, let us take another case. Okay, let us take another case. Let me run it once more. What I will do here is I will type 2 words. Let it be first abcd and xyz. Then what output will be coming? You can see that okay, despite the entire string, okay, is abcd space xyz, abcd only is getting printed. Why is it so? Any one of you has any ideas for that? So see, inside the console, what I have done, abcd space xyz. This entire thing, I say that okay, this entire string needs to be stored in variable s. But see, whenever inside the console, whenever this cin operator, it sees a space, it breaks there. It stops taking input there for a string. Okay, so it will take input for the first word only. Once it encounters a space, it will stop. That okay, none of the string further exists. Cin operator works out whenever it encounters any space, whatever it has encountered till now before the space, it will just store it inside this variable s and it will stop. So no more things are allowed to be stored inside variable s. That's the point. So from the space and xyz, it won't be allowed to be stored inside variable s. So how do we store the rest of the things? Okay, let us see that. So we have seen that okay, using cin alone, I can't take input for some spaced strings. Okay, if I have an entire string that has space in between them, I cannot take input alone using cin. So I have some functionality called getLine. Okay, an entire line of string, right? I need to take input using spaces. So it takes a parameter cin. The cin operator is taken as a parameter here, and I, in the second space, On the second slot, I give that, okay, at what variable you want to take the entire line as an input. Okay, first parameter is the operator cin, and second parameter is the string in which you want to store the entire line. Okay, so if I want to have an entire line of string as an input, then using getLine I can do that. Let's try running this. Okay, now let me give it hello world. Hello world, and let us give another space as well. Let us have these 4 words as an input, and let me try printing them. Okay, everything has got successfully printed, right? How we have done that? Okay, how we need to make make input or accept, or we can say that you, if our string is having spaces, we have to utilize something called getLine. Okay, that takes cin as a first parameter and name of the variable where we want to store the entire string. Okay, that has to be the second parameter. If we try printing it, then we see that, okay, we have successfully stored an entire line of string with spaces inside the given variable. Hope you liked the video. If you liked, please like, share and subscribe. Thanks for your time.